As we stood there spellbound, a large loaf of bread was in his hands. Nor did the supply stop until there were 40 loaves upon the table before us, placed there apparently by Emil himself. He remarked, "You see, there is sufficient for all. If not sufficient, more can be supplied until there is enough and to spare." We all ate the bread and pronounced it good. Emil continued, "When Jesus at Galilee asked Philip, 'Whence shall we buy bread?' he did this to try him, for within himself he knew full well there was no necessity to buy the bread needed to feed the assembled multitude, nor to secure it through the material market then in existence. He saw the opportunity to prove to his disciples the power of bread leavened or increased by the Spirit. How often man in the mortal concept thinks as did Philip. He was calculating, as human consciousness is calculating today, from the visible supply on hand, thinking he had only so much bread or so much supply or so much money with which to buy. Jesus recognized that the one in Christ consciousness knows no limitation. He then, in Christ consciousness, looked to God as the source and creator of all, and gave thanks for the power and substance right at hand to fill every want. He then broke and distributed through his disciples to those in outer need until the need was supplied and there remained 12 baskets over. Jesus never depended on the oversupply of another to fill his need, nor the need of another. But he taught that our supply is right at hand in universal substance, where all supply exists, and all we need do is to create it or bring it forth. Just so, when Elisha multiplied the widow's oil, he did not apply to someone having an overabundance of oil, for had he done this, the supply would have been limited. He contacted the universal, and the only limit to the supply was that all the vessels were filled. The supply could have flowed on until this day had there been vessels to receive it. This is not hypnotism. None of you feel that you are in any way under a hypnotic spell. Let me say that the only hypnotism is the self-hypnotism of believing that each and every one cannot do the perfect works of God and create the desired condition or thing. For is it not the need itself, the desire to create? Instead of unfolding and creating as God wills us to create, you fold up in your little shells and say, "I can't." And you hypnotize yourselves into actually believing that you are separate entities apart from God. You simply fall short of your perfect creation or expression. You do not let God express perfectly through you as it is his desire to do. Did not Jesus, the great master, say, "The works that I do, ye shall do also, and greater works than these shall you do"? Was it not Jesus' true mission here on earth to show that we, as sons of God, or man in his true estate, can create as perfectly and as harmoniously as God does?